Welcome back. So, at the end of the day, do you end up feeling stressed and frustrated because you don't feel like you've gotten anything accomplished throughout your day? And as you're laying there trying to remember all the things you did, you can't even think of these. This is the importance of why lists are a good idea to start writing. There are many different kinds of lists to write and many different purposes and reasons to be able to write a list. We're going to go over a few and try to figure out which ones are going to work best for you. The first one is a daily list. And that list, you put down all of the daily things that you would do, and as you do them, you can be able to mark those things off. It's a good way to be able to see at the end of the day where you are and what you've accomplished. And you might be surprised about all the things that you did that you didn't even realize that you had done because they are so routine. That's really the thing about a daily list. The daily list is just a routine list of the things that you would naturally do throughout your day. It's not a big list. It's not a complicated list. It's not a list that's going to have extravagant things on it. It's just going to be your basic, routine, everyday things. But it helps organize your thoughts, it helps organize your day, and it helps to structure your life better by being able to check those things off. It also will help with that frustration and with that stress because you know where you stand. You will see what it is that you've accomplished and that you didn't accomplish and what you can work on better for the next day. Consider list like a map. And we talk a lot about these sorts of things, and this is another one of those. A list is basically a map to be able to guide you throughout your day and then to be able to show you what you can do with tomorrow. The next kind of list to be able to create is what I would call as a weekly list. Now on that is going to be the same thing as a daily one, except for it's going to be the bigger things that you only probably do maybe once or twice throughout the course of the week. Whether that be, clean a specific room, vacuum, take out the trash, those sorts of things. And those things are going to go to a weekly list. And as you're going through your day and going through the daily list, you can start hitting some of those things on the weekly list and kind of knock them off. You got to understand the things that you're going to be putting on this kind of a list. These things all serve a purpose. These are all really your wants, your needs, and your desires. If they weren't, you wouldn't have put them there. Now I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, I don't want to take out the trash. I don't necessarily want to clean that room. I don't necessarily want to vacuum. But in truth is, you do. Because stop and think, if you didn't do any of those things, how would you feel? Odds are you'd feel even worse. You would feel like you're not living up to your potential and you're not taking care of the things that you need to be doing. This is where the list comes in handy. One, it helps guide you. But two, it also allows you to be able to see these things that you are getting done. That way you have a sense of accomplishment throughout the course of the week. And these things are your desires. Like we had talked in previous videos, we talked about your home and how your home represents your life. And that if your home is a mess, chances are so is your life, because your home is a direct reflection of what's going on in the rest of your life. It's about the way that you are handling yourself, the way you deal with people, situations, opportunities, and everything. So when you don't think that the list is important, this is why the list is very important. Now, when you get to the end of the week with that list and you realize that you haven't gotten everything accomplished, my suggestion is that you take those things that you didn't get done on that week's list, you transfer those over to the next week's list. And this time you put those at the top. Those are the things that you focus on the most to get done. They are your first priorities throughout the course of that week. That way you have that sense of accomplishment. The thing is without a list, you go out through your day and you forget about the things that you are doing, because so many of these things end up just becoming things that you have to do. They become that routine. But the thing is with this being this way, you end up with a sense of accomplishment. And that accomplishment then changes the way you start viewing yourself and the way that you interact with all of the people in your life. You start seeing the way it is that all of these things are starting to come together. Now, the next list that I would suggest that you make is a project list. And with that, not only I want you to make that project list, but I want you to take that project and then be able to break down every single aspect of that project so that you're making it smaller bits and pieces. This is going to help you be able to accomplish those tasks. And at the end of each one of those, you're going to feel so much better. A big task has multiple things that have to be done. For instance, this video. So this video is something that's on my list. It's on my list of something to do. Now, stop and think about all the things that is in that task. So these are all things and steps that I have broken down. The first thing is I have to come up with a topic for the video. The second thing I have to do is I have to write a script for this video so that I know generally what it is that I'm going to be talking about with you. And then the third thing is that, I actually have to sit down and I have to film this. Then I have to edit the video. Then I have to create a thumbnail for the video. I have to render the video down. I then have to, upload the video to this site and to the other sites that I upload to. So this is a big project that ends up being broken down into smaller ones. So this would be one of those kind of like big ticket items. And you have things like this that's in your life. These things that are your desires and your wishes and your needs, your things that you want to accomplish. And so with each one of those, try to break it down into the smallest possible steps and list each one of those steps out. And then as you accomplish those steps, you can mark all of those off. The fourth kind of list that I suggest that you make is a list of your truest desires and wants. These are things that I would say fall into your goals. Your goals and your desires. So they can fall into anything from getting a new place to live, to buying a car, to, finding love. And with those kinds of lists, this is how you should proceed with those kinds of lists. You need to write down in that list not only the goal of the desire, but also detail that thing down into its finest details. List absolutely everything about that specific item. Whatever it is, if it's a car, then, write down, what kind of car, the make, the model, the year, the price you're willing to pay, the color you want, the amenities that you want within the car. Not just settling for, hey, it's got a radio, but hey, I want a radio that's, got a CD player, that's, satellite compatible, whatever the needs are. And make sure that you write this list out. And the same thing goes for, looking for a home, looking for love, whatever these desires are. The thing is you want to write out as much detail as possible, because this is really the true purpose of all lists, and these lists specifically. This is like the calling card to life. This is you basically telling life, this is exactly what it is that I want and that I desire. These lists are only for you. Every one of these lists that we've discussed so far are only for you. So don't worry about somebody else reading these lists. So make sure that you always detail these things out to the finest thing. Because at the end of the day, the details that you forget, that you know that you want, you're only shortchanging yourself. And so with that detailed list, the first thing that you have done is you've created your plan of action. You have written down exactly what it is that you are looking for. That is like the calling card. This is telling life exactly what it is that you want. And then life can start opening those opportunities and presenting them to you. And hopefully, if you've done the other work, then you'll be able to understand when that opportunity comes knocking and that you'll be able to grab that opportunity. But it also helps your mind focus on these things as well, to help you pull these things in to your orbit. And it's not like that they weren't there. It's just that you will become more focused on those things, especially the more detailed you get. It's like the moment that you buy like a new car, all of a sudden you see, 20 of those kinds of cars on the road, to when beforehand you didn't see maybe one or two, because your mind got more focused on that. The list helps you realign your thoughts and your desires with what is going on in life and with the universe. And so that's why these lists are so important. As you keep going through these lists and being able to accomplish these things that you've put on these lists, what ends up happening is that starts elevating your vibration. And the higher that you vibrate, the more that you will start pulling into your life. And the more that you'll start recognizing these things as they're coming in. All of this is designed to be able to elevate you, to be able to be the captain of your ship, to be able to understand opportunity as it's being presented to you. And a list is one of the best ways to be able to achieve this goal. I can tell you from personal experience, many stories, to where, a list has been the ideal thing. It has worked out every single time. And it's just been amazing. I would have never thought by writing something down on a piece of paper and being able to focus on that paper that it would have brought anything into my life except for another piece of paper, laying on the coffee table. But that's not the case. And that's not going to be the case for you either. The other kind of list that I would like you to be able to create, and this is really more along the lines of like your homework, is I want you to make a list of everything that you feel that you are grateful for and blessed for in your life. It doesn't have to be a long list. Just put a few things down, whatever things that you can think of. And I want you to put that list somewhere where you're going to see that list every day. Whether it be, putting it in your wallet or putting it in your purse, putting it in a book that you're carrying with you, putting it on your refrigerator. It doesn't matter. The purpose of this list is to put kind words about yourself to you and put it in a place to where you're going to be able to read it every day and remind yourself of all the good things that you really have in your life. The more you focus on these good things that you have in your life, the more that you're going to see the good things that you have in your life. And the more that you see that you have in your life that is good, the less you will ever focus on all of the negatives. So every time you have a negative thought or something bad happens to you, think of that list. Think of the list of the things that you're grateful for, the things that you've been blessed to have. Pull that list out. Remember that list. Remember one or two things on that list. Take a few seconds and just, breathe. Breathe and think about that list and the things that's on that list. Trust me, it is going to make a world of difference. It's going to help you reset that day. And once you reset that day, everything else is going to get better. It really will. And so there's also another kinds of lists. And lists are one of those wonderful things. You can make a list of anything, really. Those are the ones I would like you to concentrate on. That's going to help us once we start digging into the obstacles and the keys of how to be the captain of your ship. But you can make a list of quotes that you like, quotes that are motivational, kind words, things like that. Write those up. Keep those with you. They're all the time posting these things on the different social media sites. Like if you're on Instagram, there's all kinds of sites on there that end up, posting these lists. That's, from these other books and things like that. Take a screenshot of that. Keep that in your photos. And periodically open up your photos and just read those to help remind yourself, to help realign yourself. Because vibration is the key. The vibration is going to be one of the things that's going to help lift you up throughout the course of your day. And as we dig deeper into all of this stuff, vibration is going to keep coming up, and it's going to make a lot more sense to you about the principles of all of this. It's about changing the way that you're seeing the world, your perception, and about how everything is coming to you. Because I'm telling you, like we told you the last time about opportunity, it is all the time, it is always around you, and it's in every moment. The thing is you just need to be able to align your thoughts and your vision to be able to see this. And writing up these lists, even mundane as they may seem, is writing up a daily list. All of these things are going to help you realign your life. Until next time, take care.